I must admit that I just watched the movie some weeks ago, so I'm a little late, but I enjoyed very much. It was so much fun to watch. And I have some questions for you, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so first question is there any plans for a sequel? Because I'm excited.
Well, it's very kind. When we first wrote Dolly in 2021, well, it was called Baby Girl,
Mm-hmm.
but it was called Baby Girl then. Um, we mapped out I guess a franchise, right? For lack of a better term. Like we knew we needed to start small and manageable. So what you can make with the money and time you have, but with a very clear eye on where the story goes and also where Dolly comes from. But like so many things in so many movies, when you're making something, you can only make what you can find the resources to make. So again, we knew we needed to start simply and small and lean into the tone and the feeling of the film and the characters and start there. But yes, I mean, yeah, like we have big dreams and
It was,
for
I'm
much more
so
Dolly.
excited. I wish to watch another movie because, I mean, I don't think she's dead. Maybe not. So I think there's more space for another movie, right? Maybe. You think?
Oh, I know. I definitely think. Yeah. I mean, I know exactly what's going on here. I mean, the hard part is like we tried to leave all these breadcrumbs like throughout the film that people are slowly starting to pick up on. Although I will say, like someone asked me recently in an interview, if there was anything people hadn't found yet or hadn't,
Mm-hmm.
and there are some things that nobody has said yet to me. And I've done a lot of interviews and I try to talk to a lot of people who love horror movies online and just,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a fan myself, so I want to make things that other fans would love, other fans of the
Mm-hmm.
genre or horror movies.
Yeah.
And so, but there are some things in Dolly, the movie, that people haven't noticed yet. So I mean, again, we left those there for us so that eventually we can say, oh, right, but we planted the seed a long time ago. Now it's grown into the tree that we
Mm-hmm.
knew it could become.
Well, I'm excited. If there's another one, I'm gonna watch it as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So here in Portugal, I'm from Portugal, and here we have a lot of famous food. Uh, in talking about food, I was wondering what food was Dolly giving to Macy because I was like so disgusted by it. So is there an idea of what was it? Or just disgusting like a disgusting food? I'm
I mean, I
curious.
know what it is. I mean, what it is not as sorry, the specificity. I do know the specificity of it, right?
Okay.
Um, in the movie, Dolly. Well, this is like a spoiler. I'm trying to think about how to say it without spoilers. Like,
Hmm.
let me think about this. Dolly has her family life, if you can put it
Hmm.
that way, has changed right at the moment the film begins. Something has changed. Something has happened to her mother, and something has happened to her father. Proverbial
Hmm.
father, right? If you can call him that. And so, what is left in the house is not fresh. Like
Yeah.
it's not something that's you know,
Not appetizing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I think, because of Dolly is somebody who, well, gosh, I'm forecasting this, but I mean, it's in the film. People have talked about like, so I'm not forecasting it, but I'm like
Yeah.
spoiling it a little bit. It's like, you know, Dolly has an arrested development, right? She
Hmm.
is a an older person who's not behaving like a person of that age,
Hmm.
and there's backstory reasons for that, but really what Dolly's interested in is thinking that she has to feed her child,
Hmm.
and so she just grabs the thing that's available, right? Like,
It
and
was
that's not fresh.
crazy.
Yeah, it's
I had lunch before watching the movie. So I had lunch and then I was like, let me watch the movie. It was not a good idea. It was not a good
no,
after
I mean
that scene.
it's gross.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I was curious, but okay.
yeah.
So if you were a character in a horror movie, what mistake would you make that would get you killed in the first 10 minutes?
Oh my gosh. I'd like to think I wouldn't make a mistake.
Okay.
But maybe everybody would say that, right? Like,
Hmm.
um, I mean, I listen, like when there's bad news, I run away. I'm just like
Okay.
I'm like hell no. And I think a lot of people are. It's interesting, like, not to tie this back to Dolly, but there's been some people online that have complained about
Mm-hmm.
some of the choices that Macy
Yeah.
or Chase make. And I have to remind them that, like, I was like, oh, but wait, did you see that it was a fairy tale, right? Did you see
Mm-hmm.
the opening stanzas? Did you understand the chapter breaks? Like, fairy tales or dark fairy tales
Mm-hmm.
they don't follow the logical rules
Yeah.
of like the way you and I would behave, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
they're operating a little differently. It's like a story in a storybook, like especially in like a Grimm's fairy tale
Mm-hmm.
or even in an old Disney film, those characters behave very differently. I was like, we showed you that this is not like like a real thing, right? This is not like a real world thing. This is a parable, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
a parable or an Alice in Wonderland type story. And so I think once I was able to, once people started understanding that, they were like, oh shit, okay, like that's why Macy does
Mm-hmm.
this. That's why Chase does this, right?
But
Those
maybe
things are
even
more
with
important.
anxiety, though, you make some choices that are not the best ones.
Well, right. Under duress, right. You,
Yeah.
right. We like. I mean, I like. It's funny. I've watched a lot of horror movies, and I'm trying to think. Like most of the people that get killed in the first 10 minutes are stupid, are like
Yeah.
straight up stupid,
Yeah.
right? Like,
I don't judge
or
though, but
no, right. I mean, and I don't mean like I'm not trying to be mean, but like
mm,
it's either that they never had a chance because it was designed to kill
hmm
them right away, right? That was the rules of the movie,
yeah.
or or they were like they made the worst possible decisions. I'd like to think that like this is I tell my friend Bryce and I we make a lot of movies together. We talk about ourselves being cockroaches, like we will
hmm
survive at all costs. Like
Okay.
because that's like so I don't know. I like an audacious claim to make, but I'm gonna go
Mhm.
ahead and make it.
I think I would survive too because I'm really anxious. So like you, I will probably just run in. Well, I would
Oh,
live.
I'm out of there, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean this is a great this is like somebody asked me this recently. Oh, like there are so many movies that if the character didn't like make the choice they make, they would never have a movie, right? I
True.
was like,
Yeah. True.
I was like, I was like, the movies are movies.
Yeah.
Like you just said, the minute it starts to go bad, I'm like, I'm done. Like I'm surviving. Like I'm out of here. Like I'm the first one gone, right?
If
Like
you
I'm
if
not,
you were in a movie, it will last like 1 minute.
yeah,
You
literally,
just
I'd be like,
run.
hell no. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have another fun question. So, what song or songs does Dolly listen to on repeat when nobody's watching?
Oh,
What do you
Dolly
think?
love. Yeah, I mean, so Dolly. Oh my gosh, can I say that Dolly would love to listen to the band we made called the Baby Boys that recorded all the music in the movie?
Sure.
I made a band. My friends and I made a band, and the original songs in the movie are ours, and we've released
Okay.
two
Well, nice.
EPs. There's also this incredible. It's an old song by the Ronettes called "Be My
hmm
Baby."
Oh, okay.
From like I think it's like a soul song from like 1963. I'd like to think that maybe Dolly listens to
She
the
will
Baby
listen to that.
Boys on
hmm
repeat or the Ronettes "Be My Baby."
So, what was the name of the band of the your
They're
group?
called the Baby Boys.
Okay,
They're
let
on
me write
like
down.
everywhere music is streaming, like Spotify, Apple
Yeah.
Music, Tidal, like Amazon, like. But yeah, my friends and I here where
Okay.
I live, there's two like kind of old-timey country western songs that play in the movie.
hmm
One's in the movie and then one's in the credits. And those are our songs. And we've released four more songs
hmm
that have a little you know, like I don't know, like have a little they have some lore baked into the stories, like if that's making sense. Like
Yeah.
the songs that were written for Dolly, that the Baby Boys wrote for Dolly, have are narrative mirrors to what's
hmm
going on or what will go on.
Yeah. Okay.
The other four Baby Boy songs that we've released since Dolly came out are about characters in the Dolly world.
hmm
They haven't had those characters haven't. had their chance in a movie yet.
Okay.
And it's interesting, like a couple people have written me about them once I listened to them, and they were
Mm-hmm.
asking questions. They were like, "Wait a minute, what? I can tell that you're touching on something here." And I'm like, "Well,
Mm-hmm.
you're just gonna have to wait." So,
Oh, I have to listen to those now. I'm gonna write
yeah,
it down.
well,
Okay. I have to listen to those. And what was the most bizarre and or scary behind the scenes moment that nobody knows about? If there's any
so
creepy like behind the scenes.
yes, so we found a house that, like, during pre-production,
Mm-hmm.
we 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 found a property on someone's property that was a home
Mm-hmm.
that a family walked away from, we believe, in like 1995 or something. And the entire house was, I mean, it was full of trash, but it was as if everything in the house had, like imagine like
It
mini
stopped in
bedrooms,
time, like everything was.
but it was like, I mean, there were jars of old peanut butter with like
Oh.
peanut butter still inside of them. There were, I mean, there were personal photo albums, like
Mm-hmm.
driver's licenses. There was like a somebody's pornography collection. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything was in
Thing.
this house. The
Okay.
thing that is the weirdest, and I have some of them right here.
Mm-hmm.
So we use them. We put them. We used a lot of the stuff in the house
Mm-hmm.
to. We took the props and like so a lot of the things in the house we built in Dolly, so where Dolly lives, a lot of the furniture and kitchen items and is all from this abandoned house we found.
So, but
It
the
was
house, it was like a studio, everything, or just a real house? Everything was
no,
a
we
real.
we built the house. The house doesn't
Ah,
exist.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we took the items, the props and
Mm-hmm.
the furniture from this abandoned house. But in
Mm-hmm.
that
Okay.
abandoned house, which nobody knew, I mean, there were names on documents and bank
Mm-hmm.
accounts. It was like it was who walks away from a house?
Yeah.
The weirdest thing about that house is there was a giant collection of mysterious VHS tapes,
Oh,
and
okay.
and they the and I have about 25 of them, and the other 25 went back with one of the production designers. They
Mm-hmm.
are cryptically labeled,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't know. No one has wanted to watch them,
I was
and
gonna ask you that. Did you watch
I
those?
have them here, and I've recently bought a device that I could
Mm-hmm.
digitize and watch them, and I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what's on them, but like
It's
it's
crazy.
very, very strange, right? Like so there were maybe 40 to 50 tapes. They all have somebody's
Oh,
name on them.
okay. So they don't have description, just like a title.
Yeah, I mean they have a date, and it
Okay.
says every single one is called Triple Explosion, and it has a name, and we don't know what's going on.
That there's a movie about that, you know.
I have a whole box of them right
Well,
there. I keep thinking to myself, like, I'll digitize or I'll look at them. But I also, we never looked at them because we were like, what if there's something really happening?
no, yeah, yeah. That's
So, I
so
mean,
you
maybe
have
we
like
should.
20 of those. Like how
I have
many do
like
you have?
25 of them over here
That's
and
crazy.
like maybe 30. I don't know. I don't know what's on. I'll look
Like
at them
I
sometime. I mean, what it's like yeah, I don't know.
that's
This
crazy.
house was so weird. Like, I wish I could. Have you ever walked it? It was literally like the people just disappeared,
Yeah.
right?
Or they just ran and left everything as it
They
was.
ran and left her,
Yeah.
but like but like too many personal things. Like
Mm-hmm.
who would leave? I mean, and I can't. There were so many things. Like it was just as if a life just went away,
Yeah.
walked away, a whole family.
That's crazy. Did
So,
you take anything more than the
do I have
tapes?
anything else?
Mm-hmm.
Not here.
Okay. But
I
for
don't
you
want to.
took a lot for the
Yeah, I
production.
mean the whole
Okay.
house. Like look at that kitchen. That kitchen in the
Yeah.
house. Like all the like. The refrigerator was downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
The refrigerator had a skunk living in it when they found
Oh.
it. I mean, we like yeah, we the person who owned the land, it was a house way back in the woods on this giant piece of property. And the
Mm-hmm.
guy told us it was there. He was like, "Yeah, there's a house back there. Like, feel free to I own the land, I own the house." Like, I
Mm-hmm.
just he had so much land that he wasn't worried about it. But he said, "Yeah,
Okay.
take it all. Like, if you need it for the movie, take it." So we did.
Okay. That's fun. So if you watch those, I hope to see in another interview what's
I
on them.
mean,
I have
maybe
to know.
like I was like maybe we should just like scan them all, like digitize them all and put them on the internet and see what people find, you know?
Uh, if it's not something really graphic, well, yeah, you can try.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
So I have another fun question. If you were forced to permanently delete a scene from Dolly that you are very proud of,
If I'm
or
forced to do what?
to delete a scene from Dolly that you are very proud of, or let the audience change the ending, which one would you choose?
Oh,
You don't know what they're gonna choose for the ending, though.
I guess delete a scene.
Which one would you choose to delete?
Oh, but they gotta choose it, right? Or me?
No, no,
Like,
yeah, you can choose the scene. You can delete.
oh.
They have to choose the ending,
I
the
don't know. I feel
audience.
like that's more I tell you what, like it's I would almost be curious what someone else would do with the ending. Like, because all I can tell right now are like, every filmmaker, when they make something, they're aware of like the things that don't feel like they're working. And I
Hmm.
say that like our first 2 days on set were so hard because and that's normal. Like a film has growing pains, right? Like
Hmm.
you're basically a circus operation that's trying to figure out how to run a show. And you've never performed a circus before. So on day one, you got to perform.
Hmm.
And our first 2 days were stressful. We were very behind schedule. And I'm very aware in the movie of where the footage or the things we shot in the first 2 days are, and they feel like the weakest links to me. And that's
Hmm.
because we had to race through them, right? We had a race to get through. So I, but I don't think I could cut those because I need them, which makes it really hard. So I'd almost be more curious to see how someone else would end the film, you know?
I like the
Yeah.
ending. I'll maybe if I had to change, I wouldn't change much. Just Macy died and that's all.
Okay, there you go.
Maybe, but it will be probably the same. Or just I don't think Dolly woke up, right? No, she was left on the ground. She was. Maybe she woke up and like killed Macy and it was the end. Maybe. But it's really good. I really enjoyed the movie and I really enjoyed all the scenes, especially the boob scene. That was crazy. That was
That's good.
was your idea that or no?
Trying to think. Yes, I
That was
think like
insane. That
yeah.
was crazy.
I, I mean, yeah. I guess I mean, yes. Like I think we were like, but again, it's not being provocative for the yes, but it's relative to what a character's trying to do, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Dolly's trying. She's going, all right, bottle doesn't
Mm-hmm.
work. Food doesn't work.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what does my child need? Like, if not that, like this is the only other thing I can offer them,
Yeah.
right? Um, and so, but I think it's sometimes I wish like. And the film is twisted, right? But it's twisted, but there's still like logic from a character point of view, right? And so I think it's like nothing is being trying to be provocative
Mm-hmm.
or um, exploitative just to do something crazy, right?
I
It's all
think it
they're
made
all
sense actually for as you
yeah.
said as her character. It made
So
sense.
but I think what we found is that like people want even crazy. It's like, and this is good. This is a good thing. Like people are okay with like the crazy as long as it fits the
Mm-hmm.
story, right? And I
Yeah.
think that like that was always the goal. It's hard because it's like I think when we wrote it, people were like, "Oh, they would read the script and they would say, "This is crazy." Right? And it doesn't feel crazy anymore because like once you get into making a movie, you talk about it like it's a very rational thing. You're like,
Mm-hmm.
"Okay, so when she pulls her blouse down, she's standing in that direction, and like it all of a sudden loses its insanity, and so now it just feels like very average to like as a movie. And so I think for all the other Dolly plans we have in mind, like
Mm-hmm.
we just like we want to make sure we make ourselves feel like it's crazy still. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
So, but earned. It has to be earned. So
Mm-hmm.
it has to fit the story and fit the characters. But I'm like, well, why don't we just go? I don't know, give people something to talk about. Like as
That
long
was
as it.
crazy.
So I don't
It's
know.
so fun to watch. And I'm also a Terrifier fan. And the vibe of the movie, I don't know if you enjoyed the movies, but it reminded me so much of the Terrifier 1 that I enjoyed, really.
Okay.
And that moment, kind of, I was like, okay, this is, I'm enjoying this because it's giving the same vibes and it's really
Yeah.
fun. and I
That's cool.
enjoyed the aesthetic of it as well, like a VHS, like analogic camera. I don't know how to say it in English, maybe analogic
Yeah,
camera. I don't know
analog,
what analog.
analog. Yeah,
Yes,
I
it
mean, we
was really
shot
fun.
film, right? So it's like actual like old film, like Evil
Hmm.
Dead was shot on, or the Texas Chainsaw
Yeah,
Massacre. So yeah, I mean, we shot film. Like,
it got me those
it's got a
vibes.
vibe.
Really fun. And I have one last question, if that's
Yeah,
okay.
of course.
So, what is the most absurd comment or review you've read online about the trailer or the movie so far? Like a crazy review or a crazy comment? Weird.
Yeah, I mean, I it, okay, a couple things come to mind. Like, I get hate, like
Okay.
hate mail and love mail, right? Like,
Okay.
and that to me is like remarkable because the euphemism, of course, is like one person's trash is another person's treasure, right? Generally.
Mm,
And I guess I would rather that be the case than make something that is like average. At the same time, like you would like everybody to love something. I mean, like a
hmm.
great movie, like I mean, it's hard because okay,
It's
the genre,
impossible to everyone to like your movie. It's impossible.
true,
If
but I
it,
feel
it could be
like
the greatest movie, but
yeah, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, I don't know, like I can't think of an example right now where it's like
mhm,
universally beloved, right? Like, um, but inevitably, the minute people love it, someone's gonna find something to hate about it. At the same
mhm.
time, like there was a review from Focus on the Family, which is like a very religious
Okay.
cult-like institution in the United States. Like,
Hmm.
um, and their critic wrote this review that we turned into a poster because the poster was like the like pull quotes were so insane. They were so perfect, right? They were basically
Hmm.
like, this film is like the most reprehensible piece of trash ever. Like no,
Oh my
it has like
gosh.
no cultural value.
Hmm.
Like, and it was and yet the reviewer at the same time had
Hmm.
the self-awareness to write, um, but my guess is that these filmmakers will even love this review.
Hmm.
And they were right. Like, we love the review. I was like, dude, you got it, right? You were right. Like, but also, I will say this. It's like, I've made movies. I made a lot of movies, or enough. I made a couple movies, so not a lot of movies, but I made a couple movies. And I've just found that, like, in this day and age, you do have to like make people pay attention. So I'm like tired of like things that just kind of feel like content, right? There's a lot of
Hmm.
things out there that feel just filler, right? They
Yeah.
are things people play, they don't remember, they're fine and average. I was like, at least like I don't know, at least like poke some people, right? Or like
Hmm.
and I do really appreciate that about the Terrifier franchise generally, is it's like, listen, it's a filmmaker and I don't know them. I don't know anybody who's been a part of Terrifier, but it's like you make something that you want to make your way and go hard. Like, why not, right? Like, isn't that what like any storyteller should do? Is like
Hmm.
fly your flag. And so I think like I'm okay with like I wish more people it would be nice if like I think more people recognized what it was. You know, sometimes we'll get some feedback. Someone's like, "Oh, the story's very simple," and I go, "Well, yeah, the story's simple because when you have no time and no money, you can't do complicated things.
Yeah.
So it's like you do what you can do." And I think that like and I say to those people, "Well, just hey, stick with us. We've got much more planned. We will give
Hmm.
you more story when we can."
Yeah, that's why I talked about Terrifier because it was a really low budget movie when I watched when I was like 14. And I just had fun. It doesn't have like much of a story. And Dolly remind me of that is a simple story, but it's so much fun to watch. And I'm like, usually people in Portugal say, oh, it doesn't have a story, but it doesn't need to have like a Oscar winning story. Just have
Well,
fun, just enjoy
Well,
it.
this is what's crazy, and I know you don't really know me or like any of the other things we've done. The
Hmm.
reason why we wrote Dolly so simply, well, outside
Hmm.
of money, like we needed to
Yeah.
be able to make it, was every other thing we have was very complicated, or not very complicated. It had so much more story, and no
Hmm.
one was letting us make those. So
Oh,
we would
okay.
say, well, we'll just write the exact opposite thing, right? Like,
Hmm.
I mean, for years and years and years, I mean, the prior three films I made did have a lot of story. And but we, you know, we predominantly pitched movies that were like, had very rich, like, not complex narratives, but like they had a lot more going on.
Hmm.
And no one was letting us make those. So we're like, well, we do need to make movies and we want to be working, we want to be creating, we want to be collaborating. Well, what's the thing we can do? Well, we'll write something is very simple.
Simple.
And then it was the thing that was got made. It's like no filmmaker has the ability to decide of theirs what gets made. You are at the whim of an ecosystem of like a
Hmm.
system of
Yeah, of course.
gatekeepers. And like sometimes I joke that like I walk into a meeting and I open my trench coat and I go, "Here's everything. What do you want to buy?" I don't know what someone's going to like, but
Hmm.
I have one of everything. And so I can't it's like I'm like, listen, like you think we didn't put enough story into this? Well, go watch one of my other films
Hmm.
or finance Dolly too, and you can
Yeah, but
have
I
way
think
more
it
story.
makes more fun because now I'm curious about her and maybe, I
There we
don't
go.
know, the future. I think it's more fun to watch this way. That's how
Thank you. Well,
Terrifier grew. Well, I don't know
stick with
how you
us.
say.
We got you.
Yeah, so stay for Dolly 2, I guess. I'm
Yeah,
excited to
exactly,
watch if
exactly,
there's gonna be another
exactly.
movie. So that's all. Thank you, Rod, for your
Yeah,
time.
of course. Thank you so much.
And I
Thank you for
hope a
taking
lot
this
of
in.
Portuguese people watch this movie because it was
Me
so
too.
exciting. I put a review as well on my TikTok, and a lot of people were excited to watch as well. So
Well,
yeah,
thank
thank
you.
you for your time.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much. Be well too.
Thank you. Bye bye, Rod.
Bye later, Naomi. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye bye.